y'all. So today we are gonna be reacting to Oh my gosh, I got out my Elgato. Alright, today we're gonna be reacting to JxmyHighroller, the harsh truth about Victor. Honestly, about Victor, like just looking at Victor, bro, like I am worried about his career, just based off, you know, the guys who are, you know, tall with no then have no strength and stuff. Like with that, I mean, they don't have no muscle or anything. I'm not saying they don't have no strength, but like they have no muscle or anything. I'm a little worried about those guys more than anybody else because it feels like, you know, it's just bones, and you know they could just fold at any second, bro. They could just get hurt at any second, bro, and it's worrisome. That's why I'm worried about Victor. But Victor, I have not checked out his highlight tape that much. I just know he's hyped as a generational talent, and he is obviously going #1 to the Spurs. And let's see what JxmyHighroller has to say about it. The harsh truth about Victor Wembanyama. Let's go.
In 1997, the San Antonio Spurs were one of the worst teams in the entire
NBA. Here we go. We're
NBA,
talking about the Spurs getting
the
them.
season with just 20 wins, and with a rookie head coach leading the way, their future was uncertain.
He'll pop a bitch.
Their two best players were an aging Dominique Wilkins, just 1 year away from his last NBA season, and their franchise player in David Robinson, who was sidelined with a season-ending injury that would linger for the rest of his career. The franchise was in a downward spiral with no end in sight.
Had they won a chip at that point?
What they did have,
with David Robinson,
is one more chance to make it right. Coming off the worst season in franchise history, the Spurs were given the third best odds to get the first overall pick in the 1997 draft. Exactly what the organization needed to rejuvenate their roster. But according to pre-draft evaluations, the gap between the potential first pick and the third pick was massive.
Holy,
get the third pick and settle for a small forward out of Utah named Keith Van Horn, or win the lottery and land on the best NBA prospect in over a decade. A 4-year starter out of Wake Forest by the name
of Tim Duncan, baby.
And on the day of the draft lottery, the future
of the
Spurs franchise and the future of the NBA would change forever.
The second pick in the 1997 NBA draft goes to the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh, that's what I heard. Philadelphia 76ers were this close to having Tim Duncan. Gosh, bro. Now they're living in pain because Joel Embiid is their best player, bro. And he only cares about MVPs.
And that means that the first pick in the 1997 NBA draft goes to the San Antonio Spurs.
All right.
Congratulations.
Is it happening?
See this guy right here? That's Spurs chairman Peter Holt. And in this moment, he was the happiest man on earth because he just won the first overall pick in the 97 NBA draft. Who he would pick was already a foregone conclusion, but not Peter or anyone else at the time knew that the Spurs just won the rights to one of the greatest players in the history of the game.
5 chips.
This very moment was the beginning of one of the great—
Like Clay? I'm Clay? Oh, sorry. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I messed up. I shouldn't have tried to be like Clay. My bad.
History of the game. And this very moment was the beginning of one of the greatest dynasties in NBA history.
NBA history.
And now, 26 years later, luck would have it that the Spurs have found themselves right in the middle of another historic night once again.
Bro, I could tell he was pissing everybody off, bro. Like everybody was heated.
They now have the
when
rights
he started yelling, "Woo!"
to the #1 overall pick in the 2023 NBA draft. And the prospect they plan on picking up is claimed to be bigger and better than anything we have ever seen.
That's what
they
say, bro.
As we get closer to draft day, the hype surrounding Victor Wembanyama is growing by the minute. Experts and analysts claiming he's the greatest prospect in the history.
Ain't no way, bro. Not better than LeBron, bro. No way. No way, bro. LeBron is definitely the greatest prospect of all time.
Of the sport. Some even claiming he's the best prospect of any sport ever. The franchise that gets him believed to have hit the basketball jackpot that will set them up for 2 decades of success and championships. But how good can one prospect actually be?
That's what I'm saying.
Fans already talking about future.
Like, this man hasn't even played a game yet. That's just, will he live up to the hype, bro? That's a lot of pressure, you know what I'm saying? They're calling you the greatest prospect of all time in any sport. That's crazy, bro. Expectations, it reminds me a lot of LeBron's expectations.
Championships for the Spurs since
that man was a high schooler too.
They've essentially landed Victor, but turning potential.
Damn, I'm making a video not about LeBron, Well, I mean, but like it kind of is because they started talking about the greatest prospect of all time. So like, I mean, LeBron was the greatest prospect of all time. I don't give a fuck.
Great.
Like, I'm talking more about LeBron than Victor, though.
Into real winning and championships is a task that very few players have ever been capable of doing.
Yeah, it's hard to lose.
Today's video is sponsored by Draft Makers. Gets even bigger, just 5 over 5. Out of the last 25 #1 overall draft picks, how many do y'all think have won a Finals MVP?
All right, let's start now. Wait, do you not want me to look at it? All right, I'm gonna guess. I know Bron's got 4, so we're just talking about like single players. All right, bet. Bron, #1 overall draft picks. Who is #1? Kevin Durant. Wait, Kevin Durant was 2. Fuck. Is it just LeBron? Is it just LeBron? I'm trying to think. I'm gonna go through every year. Last year was Curry. Curry was like 8. Giannis the year before. He was not #1. It's gotta be 1, right? I'm just gonna go 1. Fuck it. It looks like 1. I think it's 1. I think it's just LeBron. Anthony Davis was 1. Okay, yeah, it's just 1, bro. It's just 1.
Maybe 4 or 5.
It's just 1.
How about 1? There
LeBron.
has been one #1 overall pick in the last 25 seasons who has won a Finals MVP. But Finals MVPs are about the
I
toughest.
forgot KD should have been #1, but Greg Oden's man.
Thing to win in all of basketball.
God damn it, Portland, y'all fucked it up.
So what about regular season MVPs? How many of the last 25 first overall picks have won at least one of those? 2. LeBron
LeBron and who?
James and Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose?
That's it.
Uh-huh.
But how about this? How many of
LeBron's
the
just
last
a goat.
25 #1 overall picks do you think have won a championship? They could be a role player for all I care. As long as they have a ring, it counts.
Okay, so obviously Kyrie, LeBron, AD, and Andrew Wiggins, there's 4. None of the recent ones have just 4. Wait, Dwight Howard did 5. 5.
Counts.
5.
But the answer is still just 6.
6? Bogut? Oh, Bogut. I forgot about Bogut. Fuck. Forgot about Bogut. I forgot he was on the Warriors.
In the NBA is very, very hard to do. But
Bogut was #1 overall pick? What the fuck?
fans and experts are already putting
This should be one of the worst of all time.
this burden on a kid who hasn't even been drafted yet. But we've done this before.
He was a solid
Unrealistic
player, though,
hype
but
and
fuck.
expectations met with inevitable disappointment. It feels like just yesterday, Zion Williamson was being regarded as the greatest basketball prospect of the decade. And yet here we are, 4 years later, and Zion has played in just 29 games over the last 2 seasons
That's
and
insane.
has yet to play in a single playoff game. Great player.
Wait, he didn't play in the playoffs last year. Fuck. I thought he was gonna come back, and if he did play that series, they would have won. They would have won the playoff series against the Suns. The Suns would have been first rounded, but yeah, they were a 1 seed before Zion got hurt this year, and then Zion got hurt. And the sad truth is Zion's probably never gonna be healthy. So.
But as of right now, far from the franchise-altering force he was hyped up to be.
Yeah.
Here's another player who was said to be a generational prospect coming into the NBA. Nicknamed the Fresh Prince, being that he was the successor to LeBron King James.
That's my goat. That's my goat.
This is Ben Simmons, a player that was too afraid to take a shot in a playoff game and peaked in his 2nd season in.
Bro, they were calling this guy the next LeBron. This man was getting. I remember this shit when he came into the league. I was like, bro, we got the next LeBron. I was calling him the next LeBron. Everybody was like, yeah, he's the next LeBron, bro. He literally has the same play style as LeBron, bro. He's gonna be the next LeBron, bro. He's like a point forward like LeBron. I was like, okay. And this man just can pass and can defend. He cannot do anything right on offense, though.
In the league.
I mean, like scoring wise, excuse me.
And we do this to young players far more often than you would think. DeAndre Ayton is a solid NBA player. Nowhere near a superstar, but he could be a key piece on a championship-winning team.
He could.
Now, would you believe that just 3 months before he was drafted, he was labeled as a, quote, anomaly in the moment?
Anomaly? What's anomaly? Anomaly mean? What's anomaly mean? Let me check. Anomaly. Something that deviates from what is standard, normal, or expected. What's deviate mean? Deviate. Depart from established course. Okay. So it's not normal. There are a number of anomalies in the present system. Okay.
It always feels like the next guy up is going to be the guy. And then shortly after, we forget about the unwarranted comparisons and move on to the next guy. But to really understand how rare it is to draft a player who becomes an all-time great, stays healthy, and stays loyal to the franchise that drafted him, we have to look at the teams and players who actually did it. If we're talking about transcendent players who led the team that drafted them to multiple championships, then that list only includes 7 players who were drafted in the modern NBA.
That's crazy. Players who led the team that drafted them.
Over 3,000 players drafted since 1980, and 7 of them went on to be a loyal, franchise-altering talent. These players right here are icons, legends in their franchise and to the game, and they only come around about once in a decade. Now, if Victor is as good as advertised, he could be added to this list one day, but the path to get there is long and riddled with players who fell short. But in the NBA, even the stars, superstars, and once-in-a-generation talents struggle to win the ultimate prize. Luka Doncic has been a phenom since he entered
Oh my gosh, Luka needs help, bro.
the NBA.
He needs that defense. That offense is fine, but he needs that defense, bro.
Exceeding all pre-draft expectations. And yet 5 seasons into his NBA journey, and he has yet to see the finals, and even missed the playoffs in this last season. Kevin Durant is one of the greatest players to ever touch a basketball, but even he had to abandon the team that drafted him to join a juggernaut of a team to win a championship. James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Chris Paul, Damian Lillard, Joel Embiid, the list of all-time great players who have yet to win a title or find any real success in the playoffs is massive, which makes the expectations on Wembanyama all the more baffling. To think that a 19-year-old can come into a struggling franchise and turn everything around may not be realistic. And even worse, it may not even be fair to the young man. Ironically, the best turnaround directly caused by a rookie in modern NBA history was by Tim Duncan. After the Spurs drafted Duncan, their win total jumped from 20 wins
They already had David Robinson and shit set up for him though.
in 1997 to 56 wins in 1998. A 36-win jump.
But they already had their team established.
In Timmy's first season with the team and a championship in his second season. This is by far the greatest leap a team has ever seen simply by adding a rookie to their roster. Larry Bird was another immediate franchise-altering player for the Celtics,
32,
but that was nearly half a century ago. LeBron couldn't do it, KD couldn't do it, Steph and Michael took years to pull it off, and yet somehow we don't just want, but we expect this 19-year-old kid to do it. I really think some fans don't understand.
But the Spurs have a good franchise though. They're a great franchise, so they'll figure it out, bro. It's all up to Victor on how good Victor's gonna be.
Pressure that they are putting on Wembanyama. He could be great, amazing, injury-free, generational, and to expect this level of excellence.
It's not like a Cleveland Cavaliers franchise. You know what I'm saying? That franchise was like terribly when LeBron got there. Like
of him could still be far too much.
The Spurs are one of the greatest
Over the past
franchises
25
in the NBA.
seasons, the average MVP finishes the season with a win share total of 15.2. Over that same time span, the average All-Star has a win share total of 10. And among the 450 active players in any given season, the average single-season win share total across the league is just 2. Now, over the last 25 years, among #1 overall picks in their rookie season, the average win share total is 4.2.
Damn.
That number jumps to 5.7 in their second season and then hits 7.9 in their third season. But by season 4, many of these once prodigies start to lose their minutes. They fall out of the rotation, they fail to adapt their game and skill sets to the NBA, and the average win share falls to 6.7.
Wow,
and by season 5, by the time we as fans
number one overall picks are some bums, bro.
have made a decision on these players, the average win share total falls to just 5.9, about the same as the average starter in the NBA.
It's because of all that hype, bro. Like, they get so much hype. It's so hard to deal with, bro. It's probably insane injuries and shit, bro. It's just so hard to deal with, bro. Gosh, bro. Like, all that pressure that gets put on you, bro. Like, I cannot blame them, bro.
This is the career of an average #1 overall pick in the NBA. We see number 1 overall players as the guys who went on to have great careers, guys like Kyrie and Anthony Davis and LeBron. But we forget that far more often, these number 1 overall
Dwight Howard got a great career too.
picks pan out to be players like Markelle Fultz, Andrea Bargnani, and Kwame Brown. But even for the groundbreaking prospects who are league ready the day they put on an NBA jersey, the result is still rarely a championship or real hardware or impact. Over the last 25 years, the players who had the largest impact in their rookie season were Chris Paul, Ben Simmons, and Blake Griffin, followed by the 12 next best rookies of the last 25 seasons. You are looking at the greatest rookie seasons of this century, and yet only half of them were even the best player on their team by the end of their first season in the
Wow, that's crazy, bro.
league.
That's
But
crazy.
I want y'all to take a guess at how many of these players even made the playoffs in their rookie season. Got your answer?
Probably none.
2.
Oh. Okay, Iggy and Andre. Okay.
Which means out of the 15
Iggy was number 1?
best rookies who've entered the league over the last 25 seasons, not a single one of them led their team to the playoffs. And among these same 15 rookie sensations, by their 3rd season in the league, only 4 of them managed to lead their team to the playoffs as the best player on the team.
That's
It is very hard to win in the NBA. But like some sort of gambling addict, us NBA fans like to count the wins while ignoring the losses. Somehow the countless misses we've had are outweighed by the 1 or 2 we got right. Is Victor Wembanyama the most hyped NBA prospect of all time? Well, I'm not sure.
I don't
Some
think so.
experts that have been around a lot longer than I have would like to say so. But if my memory serves me right, I can recall a 17-year-old LeBron James
That's what
drawing
I'm
so
saying.
much attention that he managed to have an Ohio high school basketball game featured on national television.
That's insane.
Long before social media, the likes of LeBron James, Patrick Ewing, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar were all household names before they even put on an NBA jersey. I don't know if Wembanyama is at that level of hype at the moment, but he's getting there. And with that amount of hype comes overwhelming pressure to perform. It's easy to sit back and watch this kid play, see his incredible tools in action, 7 feet 5 inches tall, 8-foot wingspan with a silky smooth jump shot and world-class defensive instincts, and one can only assume he will find immediate or even eventual success in the form of championships and cultural impact in the NBA. Coaches and scouts who have been around the game for decades and have seen every prospect rise through the ranks over the years are saying Victor Wembanyama is better than all of them. It would take an era-defining talent to come into the NBA and transform a franchise into a dynasty. But if Victor is everything we think he is,
He should be able
may
to.
just be the next player to do it.
But it's hard, bro. I don't like his build. I've never liked his build, and that's why I didn't understand. I guess check out Hype Tekka too. Shit, and he has the same build as him. But nah, that's fire, bro. Shout out to JxmyHighroller, bro. Fire ass video. Will Victor live up to the hype? I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't think so. I'm gonna say no, and I don't think it'll be his fault. I think it'll be injuries. That's what I think. And I don't. But if he stays healthy, bro, hey, bro, who knows, bro? Could be one of the goats. But we'll see. Anyways, thank y'all for watching. The number 1 overall picks do not have good fortune. Or the number 1 overall pick does not usually get treated well in the NBA. LeBron is a crazy exception, and he's had the most successful career out of any of them. Only want to win finals, MVPs, and MVPs. So yeah. Anyways, thank you for watching. 80 is gonna be next this year because we're winning the chip in 7. We're winning the Nuggets series in 7. Then we're beating the Heat in 6. So anyways, I'll catch y'all later, and peace out, YouTube. All right.